Now, Scott Walker is the former governor of Wisconsin. I say former because he was handily defeated by his opponent, his Democratic opponent, Tony Evers. Now, while that's good, unfortunately, you are not likely to see a difference in policy because Walker just signed a group of bills to make sure that Wisconsin voters will never be free of his legacy. Now, I mean that literally, because those bills just made sure that Tony Evers, as well as his Attorney General, Josh Kaul, will literally not be able to undo almost anything the Republicans have already put into place. Now, under these bills, the governor will no longer have the ability to withdraw from certain legal actions. For example, the lawsuit against the Affordable Care Act, without facing a potential veto from the state legislature. The governor will also be stripped of his ability to get rid of the state's Medicaid work requirement and will no longer have full power to appoint members of a state economic board. In other areas, the legislature will have to sign off on his changes to certain programs, as well as certain settlements by the Attorney General. So what this is that this is a Republican power grab. As soon as they get kicked out of power, the Republicans say, oh, no, we need to curtail the power of the government, so they can't actually do anything. They can't undo all the stuff that we've already given to the donors. See, we promised them things, and guess what? We're going to keep doing them. Whether or not we have democracy or not, don't care. We're going to let Republicans, our party, do whatever we want, and the Democrats are powerless to stop us. Now, there's more. The laws also eliminate the State Department of Justice's Solicitor General's office, which outgoing Attorney General Brad Schimmel used to file partisan lawsuits challenging Democratic laws. The elimination of the office will limit the means Kaul has to challenge Republican-authored laws. So we can challenge your laws all day, but when it comes to you challenging ours, nope, can't do it. You're stuck with it forever. Or at least until the Democrats get a majority in Wisconsin. Now, separately, the other laws in the lame duck package will also restrict early in-person voting to 2 weeks just before an election, when previously voting could take place as early as almost 7 weeks in some cities. So, early voting, nope, we don't care. You like early voting? No, that helps Democrats. Get rid of it. Get rid of it. Get rid of it now. How dare you have an advantage, in getting out to the polls? Being able to actually, because we don't have a voting holiday, by the way. We don't have a voting holiday. And voting, it's abhorrent that we have a system where voting takes place on a workday. We have voting that takes place on a workday. We have polling stations that are constantly shut down. We have computers that have all sorts of problems. Our voting infrastructure is a wreck, and it's on purpose. It's not an accident. When Republicans run it, they make sure that less people vote, because when more people vote, they happen to lose. Look, this midterm, there really was a blue wave. You know why? It's because we had record turnout, and in the House, over 40 Republicans lost their seats. That is amazing. And that shows you why the Republicans are so scared of allowing people to vote. So them shutting down early voting might actually be one of the most egregious parts of this legislation, but don't get me wrong, it is all bad. It is all nothing more than a power grab for the Republicans. And of course, after signing, Tony Evers came out with this statement. He said, "Today, Governor Walker chose to ignore and override the will of the people in Wisconsin. This will no doubt be his legacy. By signing the lame duck bills, Walker sealed his fate. The outgoing governor will be remembered only for the harm he has done. And that is the most tragic legacy imaginable for a failed politician." Oh, damn. Yeah, but on the other hand, Evers, he's going to make a lot of money in the private sector. Because, look, while in office, Scott Walker did everything for private interests. He did everything the corporations wanted him to do. You think he gives a damn about how the people remember him? No. People are down here. The donors are up here. That's where he ranks. right? He's like, oh, no, donors, I do whatever you want. People, I don't care about you guys. He just showed you how he doesn't care about you and doesn't care what you want. He's like, no, no, no. I decide who gets power. Oh, you voted for somebody else? Sad day for you. I'm going to undo everything that I can and sabotage the incoming Democratic governor that you voted for. Democracy? I don't care about democracy. He doesn't care about it at all. No, the only thing that Scott Walker is worried about, that he cares about, is how well the corporations are going to reward him. And just like all the other corporate shills, he will be rewarded very richly for what he did against the working class. Call it what it is. Pathetic power grab. This should mean, this is why no one should ever vote for Republicans. Because like if you vote for Republicans, like, hey man, they say they're going to do things differently. They say they're going to, you know, help out with jobs, etc. Well, for one, they lie to you. Look, man, you'd have to be not paying attention at all to what's going on, to what Republicans have been doing, to think that way. But, God, you know, there are people out there, okay. And I understand that people are very, very busy. They have 2 to 3 jobs to survive. But Republicans are not going to help with that. Republicans are only in it for their own power, more so than Democrats. I mean, again, Democrats, I've had this conversation a million times. Yes, Democrats do work for private interests. There are a lot of Democrats that are wholly owned by corporations, of course, but they have never tried to grab power in such a brazen manner. You can't point to an instance of a Democratic governor doing this to a Republican. No, that doesn't happen. What we're dealing with here are Republicans suppressing democracy to an extent that we have never seen. And it's not just Wisconsin, they're also doing it in Michigan. They don't care about the will of the voters. They don't care about democracy. They are absolute fascists. Hey guys, hopefully you enjoyed that free video. Now I'm going to have to ask you a favor. Between the demonetization and the YouTube algorithm messing around with view counts, etc., we're having a hard time adjusting to the new YouTube reality, which is where you guys come in. See, we have a Patreon, patreon.com/TYTNation, set up to help us rely on you guys, the viewers, instead of big corporate ads. Look, you know the show. You know I'm not in favor of big corporations anyway. So help us transition away from relying on the ad model to pay the bills and sign up to be a patron, patreon.com/TYTNation. That goes a long way to help us keep the lights on. And you guys will know that you're supporting independent, progressive media.